welcome to the podcast, man.
It's good to be here. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Tanya.
Yeah, dude, finally.
Took 6 months,
Yeah.
maybe more. I don't know.
Yeah, thanks for being so flexible too. Even tonight we had to push it back because I had a family event I wanted to be at. So you're the man. I appreciate that. But dude, tonight's the first time I met you, and I kind of know you through Evan Nelson, who is on our monthly reviews. Great dude, awesome
Total
guy.
killer.
Yeah, he's awesome. How did you two meet?
Yeah, so I did acupuncture for probably close to a year in Glendale, and I was going up to my weekly. I think I was doing twice a week. Good looking, well spoken fella.
Very good looking man.
And I were just chatting and, good conversation. He walks out to pay his rent. I walk like, I got to connect with this guy. And so I'm glad I turned, and we chatted, exchanged information, coffee a couple times, and, told me about Let's Go.podcast. And then our discourse, occurred. And
Yeah.
I wish I had a bit more time for Evan, but I know he's busy.
Oh man, he's engaged.
Yeah.
He's got a lot going on in his personal training, but he used to be my trainer like back in the day. I think 2016 and 2017.
Yeah, he's jacked, dude.
He's ripped. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's always been that way.
Don't mess with him.
No,
Yeah.
not at all, man. Not at all. But okay, so did you know that Evan he's an actor?
I was not aware that.
Yeah, I don't know if he told you that. Yeah, he did a couple short films and some other
Have
things.
told me that.
Yeah, because you're in the film industry.
Yeah,
right? Okay,
yeah.
So what do you do in the film industry?
Yeah, so that's been quite the journey, and that could probably last, a couple hours of conversation. But short and sweet. I'm an assistant director, and essentially what I do is I take a script and I break it down into what's called the Movie Magic scheduling software, industry standard, and you basically break it down into elements. Art, camera, G&E, hair, makeup, art.
Yeah.
I think I said art twice. Very important department. Shout out to art teams all across Hollywood. But and then we break that down into manageable pieces and days. And production says 12 days, so you break it down in 12 days, and you ship that out. You communicate with department heads, and essentially, you get to production and you shoot it. And I just manage the set, block, light, rehearse, shoot, and try to keep us on time, try to keep us safe, and sail off into the sunset after day 12.
I love how you make that sound so easy.
I've worked with some producers and directors that say, just put the 600 extras, and, and it's like, you say anything like that, it sounds so easy.
Yeah,
I
did for a time. I was in acting, did modeling for a little bit, but I was in a bunch of short films. One that went to a few festivals, so I kind of understand that behind the scenes stuff. A lot of people don't know there's so much work in the film industry that nobody sees. The unspoken people. Oh shit, kind of unspoken, like not seen on camera. Right?
Yeah.
You get your credits at the end.
Yeah.
But everyone sees the final product. Right?
Yeah.
You see the movie and the people.
2 hours of fun, and
Right.
you don't realize all the blood, sweat, and tears that went into it behind the scenes.
Oh my goodness! So to me, it's the unsung heroes. That's what I love. So my sister, she does hair for in the industry.
Yeah, she's union.
Yeah, she's actually won a couple Emmys.
Oh, great.
She won an Emmy for Mad Men. She did the hair for Mad Men and a couple Disney movies and stuff
Congrats
like
to
that.
her.
So, yeah, she's been there. I want to say over 20 years now.
Yeah.
She's been there a long time. So
Bet.
I always hear from her. She's always getting things ready on Zoom calls, meeting with the actors, and there's a lot that goes into that. So thank you for what you do in movies, dude. Because I feel like you guys need to get some praise sometimes. No one ever recognizes all that. So
it's tough. Legit. It's rewarding, but
Yeah. How long have you been doing that?
About 8 years.
How did you even get into that?
Oh man.
Because from my perspective, right, as a firefighter or any type of kind of job like that, right, there's a path. Okay, take these classes, go to this academy, volunteer, do this, right? Or if you're in the private sector, get your degree in engineering or whatever it's going to be, right? But you'd never hear, like, I always think this when I see producer, I'm like, how do you become the producer? Like, what is that? What's the path to that?
Yeah, it's very unbeaten path. And I guess if, we take it back, I graduated from college in 2012.
Okay.
Central Florida, Gold Knight.
Are you from Florida?
Well, I was born in Cali, spent a little time in Texas, but grew up in Florida.
Florida?
Short answer is Florida. Sarasota.
Okay.
Yeah, so hour south of Tampa. Shout out to the Rams.
Do you remember the Florida man? What's your Florida man?
Don't get me started on him. He gives us all a bad name. Florida man. I hope you're watching this.
Some of the wildest things, like memes and videos, it's like, yeah, it's Florida.
Florida and Ohio.
Yeah.
And that's who all migrates to Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's the Ohio boys and the Florida boys. But yeah, I graduated 2012, business admin in management track.
Okay.
And I was a door manufacturer, actually, right out of college. About a year and a half.
Wow.
And, I like to think I'm a loyal guy. I mean, I guess you can't really self-proclaim yourself that. You just do it with action. But I would have been there for 30 years, man. Yeah. 40 years. Just, I hate this job with a smile, but luckily, blessing in disguise. I got laid off about a year and a half, rather, out of the gate. Okay. And I was like, I'm going to go do something cool, and I traveled, it took me 14 days to see parts of the U.S., and I made my way out to Cali, and I was in NorCal for a little bit, and then came down for a film festival for, I was supposed to be down for just like a week and go back up to NorCal. I just wound up staying. All my stuff was in my car, and, unpaid internship led into unpaid AD work and, a little bit of money for credit. And then eventually the rates get bigger and bigger. I remember the first day I got a call for like a real show, $140 a day. 11 days. I thought I made it, dude. Thought I made it, dude.
$140 a day.
I was like, I did it, dude.
I made
there.
it.
Mom and Dad, watch this. And it fluctuates and it comes and goes. And, you get to the point where you're commanding $1,200 a day. Right. $500 a day, $600 a day, whatever, the rates, and, it's negotiable. But, you fake it till you make it. And, just eventually you get pretty good at it.
Gosh, isn't that crazy how in the industry there's so much unpaid work? Just to get into where you want to go, whether it's acting, hair, makeup. I mean, to me, sometimes I look at that, I'm like, God, it's got to be illegal. Like, that's crazy.
I can imagine there's some labor laws that get tweaked a little bit, but it's like any marketing, system. McDonald's, you're paying a marketing system to get more people in, right? So you go out there and you do the best work you can. I mean, eventually you know your worth, right? I don't go out there working for $150 a day anymore. No, but it's you get in front of new producers and you do a good job and the rates go up, and again it fluctuates, and it's negotiable, and as you get better at it, you command more. So
in your position, do you have a representative?
No, we don't have agents. Okay. I think maybe some do, like when you get to AD for James Cameron or Spielberg or something. I'm sure you command something of that nature. But for a guy like me, it's just all personal marketing and getting in front of people, word of mouth.
Word of mouth. Okay. Yeah, because I remember a few times talking to you, trying to schedule you to get on here. Hey, I'm going to be on this set for 2 weeks or whatever, or something. I think you were on one in, was it Florida?
North Carolina, South Carolina.
What it was.
Yeah. I've actually was there in 2022 and then the end of 2023 for the same production. I forget their production company name.
Now, can you name some of those movies? Is it movies or TV shows?
Did I? The engagement plan was in 2022. Okay. That should be streaming. I couldn't tell you what. Tubi. They're faith-based movies, so you can find them on any of those. And then I don't think I NDA'd. By now it's got to be cut up, but God's Not Dead 5.
Nice. Okay.
So I know the first one years ago had some buzz, and but yeah, they were like, all right.
Are you a believer?
I'm on my walk. Yeah, I've been grown. I grew up in it, and I was very fearful of Anyways, the walk, definitely on the walk right now.
Yeah, no, dude. Same. I grew up in a very strict Christian home. So for me, I walked away from my faith. I was like, I don't want any part of this anymore. I'm good for quite some time. And I would say probably about 2 years ago is when I gave my life back to the Lord. Yep. And for me, it just, it changed a lot for me. It's kind of like you got to figure it out on your own. You can't kind of be told, right? Because how we grew up, it's always like, you shall do this. You're going to church on Wednesday night. You're going Sunday morning, Sunday evening, and this and that. And the way I grew up was more of, it's like God was on a throne waiting to punish you. And once I kind of got a hold and figured out that that's not what it's about. It's about a relationship, and you make it personal. Yeah. It changed a lot of things for me. I had some difficult times, where I was just kind of standing around like, yo, what is life about? What is this? I did everything everyone said. Be successful, get property, vacation, homes, do well, have cool cars. I did all that. And I remember it's like I had success in my own way, right? And you're kind of at that point where it's, I don't want to say mountaintop experience, but okay, so I did everything everyone told me that was supposed to be success in this life, and yet I'm still empty as hell.
You don't feel fulfilled?
No, I didn't. And that's when it really started to go on that kind of my own journey of, all right, I'm going to dig into this and really see. And I remember, I mean, I shouldn't have said this to God, but it was like, I'm going to give you one more shot. I'm going to see if this is real or not. You know, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to give you a month. Month turned to two turned to 6. And the next thing you know, it's like, I started feeling this like fulfillment.
Yeah.
It just changed everything. Not that I'm this person who's going to, you know, church knees, you know, pray for you, brother. You know, it's not
evangelical, me. Hands raised.
Yeah. It's just not me, but it's definitely something that changed inside me that was internal.
Yeah.
And it gave me a lot more hope. And that was the biggest thing, because in my line of work as a firefighter, we see a lot of bad stuff. You know, and a lot of people don't understand that. And I talk about it on here a lot. My family, they think we have a cool uniform and ride around in a shiny red fire engine.
Yeah.
And it's not that. There's so much that we go through and see, and not to go down this track, but it's like, there's a reason why suicide is the number one killer of firefighters and police. There's just, you see so much bad stuff, and then you get off duty and you're expected to go home and be a husband, father, live a normal life. You're just like, dude, I just saw somebody like kill themselves, and you know, CPR, delivered a baby, fought a couple fires, and like you got this adrenaline. It's like, all right, go home, see you guys.
Yeah,
it's just
be
like,
normal.
Yeah, dude. So for me, it just changed a lot internally.
Yeah,
you know, I made it personal, and once I made it personal, it just changed everything for me. Dude. Yeah. So so I understand what you're saying. You know, it is a journey, dude.
Yeah, no, and like you said, I probably shouldn't have said this to God. I'm of the belief that if he is who we say he is, if he's this all powerful, he can probably take a little bit of, you know, criticism from a lowly little speck like myself. Yeah. So I get pretty personal, like you said, with him, and you know, it's a tough walk, you know, and that's why it's difficult. Yeah. The whole 100%. Process of being with God and getting closer to him, it's, you know, it's not, I believe, and then you go out and, you know, your actions don't, you know, abide by the word. There's things that you have to abide by, but like you said, you know, you do all these things, you know, to feel fulfilled, and you just don't. And you know, I'm on that walk right now.
No, I got you, man. To me, I think it's a beautiful thing when someone's is discovering their own faith. Yeah, it's you know, it's not a bad thing, I think, to question. Yeah, and some people, I have doubts sometimes. You got to figure it out. Yeah. You got to let the Lord work, man. It is what it is. So I respect that, dude. It's all good, man. Keep on that journey, dog. Yeah. You never know you'll discover, you know, about yourself. Yeah. About your life, what the Lord wants to do with you, you know. So it's pretty cool. But so you also, I think you have your own business, right? Training? Yeah. Yeah. Well, I do have a couple other things outside of AD work. First off, I work in financial services. Hey, so dude, let's go. Yeah. Okay, so when you say financial services, is it like CPA, financial planning, investing? Yeah. So we say it's asset protection, retirement planning, and life insurance. Okay. Those are the three things that we tend to do, and essentially what we try to do is get people on track, so that way they're not worrying about their loved ones, they're not worried about their future. And that they're able to protect what they've built. Right. So that's the financial services side, and I'm also a certified personal trainer. Hey. So health and fitness is something that's, I think at the end of 2019 I was close to 320 pounds. Oh my gosh! And that was the imposter. The real Kyle is what you see right now. Okay. And I was like, dude, either I wouldn't say I was suicidal or anything, but there was definitely thoughts like, man, life might just be easier if I just wasn't here. I feel you. So I was like, either finish it or let's take over, man. Let's conquer this thing that we call life. Yeah. And I just made that decision. I lost 100 pounds in 2020, and the foundation of my growth out of that darkness was exercise, and I felt it. Yeah, yeah. And it's not like, oh, maybe someone told me. I've experienced what losing weight and what getting stronger and what looking and feeling better does. Yeah. Not that I've overcome every demon. This is 4 years coming, but man, I'm in one of the best mindsets of my life. Yeah. And the foundation was exercise. So found my way into certified personal training. Company called Air.
little story about that. And if I refuse is the acronym. And I saw this clip on the Snow White and the Huntsman, and he's surrounded. He's like, help us get the princess, and he's like, and if I refuse, the idea behind that is like, it's motivation is great, inspiration, the happy side of growth is awesome, but sometimes we forget like that nitty gritty, like, hey, the hard days are here. Do I give up? Hell no.
Yeah.
We're going to fight that too.
Yeah.
And so believe me, ride those happy waves, but we're not always happy.
Yeah.
And overcoming the hard, difficult days is where it really matters.
Dude, yeah. You say something really good. Exercise has been something for me that has helped me deal with stress.
Huge.
It's also helped me deal with like when I'm having difficult times, but it's also become in a way for me too, something that's it sounds weird, but also a very spiritual experience, because you start to learn a lot about yourself very deep. And then for me, like today, I went for a trail run. I did 13 and a half miles or something like that.
Excellent.
It hurt. Let me tell you, it was like, I think I did over 2,000 feet of climbing. It was about 3 hours of running. But even like for me in those runs, I find myself praying just out loud, thinking about things, about life, like, and asking questions to my creator. How's this going to work out? What's this? And how much it lets me get so much off of my heart and mind to be out there, but be away from people. Some people it's a gym. For me, it used to be the gym a lot too, but I find myself feeling so much better when I go for my long cycles, mountain bike or trail running. I always come back. I always come back tired, saying I'm sore.
It'd be weird if you didn't.
Right. But I feel better. You get those positive endorphins going. And also, I've had a lot of great ideas come from those moments of being alone out there for hours, hiking or running or mountain biking. And gosh, and how much, like you said, to burn calories and be out there and get that push. Like, man, it feels so good. Like, I feel like I conquered something for the day.
Use the energy.
Yeah.
We have our intake now.
Right.
I think a lot of people, they consume, but they're not releasing anything. So they have all this energy. They can't sleep because they're not, and then being out in the sun, we're carbon-based beings. We need to ingest vitamin D. I mean, these simple tasks that people push off that in their head they know, but no, it's okay. I'll suppress the very simple, basic things that we should be doing. And get up and train has been my motto the last 4 years. Yeah. If you don't know what to do with your time, guys, get up early and train. Yeah. Why am I getting up early? To train. Yeah. Just start there, man. Yeah. Don't change your diet. Don't start reading books. Get up and exercise.
You know what I figured out, and it took me all my 20s and part of my 30s. I'm about to be 38 here. Okay. So I realizing that staying up late isn't the flex. It's getting rest and getting up early. Yeah. That's the ultimate flex, dude. Getting your day started and move. Get that movement, Yeah. Where I struggle and I have to deal with this is like on rainy days, or days where I can't get out and go do my long runs or cycle. I feel so like I'm antsy. Yeah. I'm like, dude, I gotta move. Like I get all wound up. I'm like, I gotta go do something, man. That's the struggle for me. Yeah. Okay, so what am I gonna do in the days where I got too many things scheduled, I can't get a workout in? How am I gonna deal with that? Yeah. So I still kind of struggle with that, but man, the like you said, if we could say anything to anybody, is movement. Get outside, get sun in your face, and move. Yeah. Get that. I mean, not only that, but like you got one body. Yeah. Right. We got one shot at life. And that's a lot of people don't want to deal with that, right? That's the harsh reality that we live in is we're all born and we all will leave this earth. Like no one's leaving here alive. Yeah. You have an appointed time to live and you have an appointed time to die. So what are you going to do in the middle? What are you going to do with that dash? What are you going to do mentally? What are you going to do with work? What are you going to do with your family? What are you going to do physically to keep yourself going, to preserve yourself? Because I want grandkids one day. Yeah. I want to be healthy. Yeah. I want to be able to pick them up and do things. And, the decisions we make right now, what we eat, what we drink, how we exercise, do we get enough sleep? All those little choices that we make every day, they matter so much. And it took me so long to realize that. Not only that, but with age, right? Not that we're old, but we're moving on in life, right? Brother, when I drink a couple beers, Oh my! Now it's just like the next day. I'm like, I can't do this. I'm bloated. I'm puffy in the face, and I try and go for a run. I'm like, I can't breathe.
Yeah, I'll be 34 in June 24th, and I decided I'll be off the sauce till my birthday. So last drinking I did was the 31st, late into
good for you, dude.
Into the first, and there's been a few days where I'm like, oh, that'd be nice to drink a little something. But listen, man, when I commit to something, I and I'm not perfect, I'm not 50, I'm not Floyd Mayweather, but I pretty good about self-motivation, accountability, and that one, been sticking to, and who knows, maybe after June 24th, I won't touch it.
Yeah.
But like you said, I mean, just with anything, it starts today. The best time to plant an avocado tree was 20 years ago. Next best is today.
Look at God, dude. I like that.
Stop waiting, guys. Stop waiting. And when it comes to your health, when it comes to your finances, when it comes to chasing your dreams, let's go. Let's do it now.
I like that.
And what are you waiting for? People are scared. They're nervous. I did a clip today. I posted some content about like, hey, let's go. Like, what are we waiting for? We're waiting for permission. We're waiting for the right time. And that's never coming. That's not coming.
No.
And so the best time is to just jump and build the parachute on the way down. And hey, I don't know how to work out. Okay, go into the gym. I'm sure, anyone that's there trying to better themselves is willing to give you information. Yeah. I know, hey, you ask me, dude, you'll be like, oh, shoot, don't ask him. He won't shut the hell up. Yeah. You're like, I will help you.
Yeah.
And we will get you on track. And, or YouTube University. Oh, how do I eat better? Oh, well, it's pretty simple, but go change that tire. Well, I've never changed a tire before. So you show them once, okay, and then you do it and you get better at it. Just with anything, you gotta seek it.
Well, gosh, we all started at the bottom, beginning of something, So it's like we've all had that fear. Yeah. We all know what it's like to be that one person that's the new person, and that's. A lot of people ask me like, yo, you skydive, you do these ultra runs, you do this and that, blah, blah, blah. It's like, because I don't wait for people. If you're always waiting for friends to do something or someone to encourage you, you're never going to do it. Yeah. You're going to always be waiting. You have to have you kind of have to have that courage to step out and just go for it. That's how we did this podcast. That's how I've done so many other things. Like, well, how I see things, I have nothing to lose. Well, maybe a little bit financially, right? You invest in certain things to get it going. But to me, it's like you hear people, I'm afraid, right? There's so many great ideas and people who could have been so great that stayed behind fear. Yeah. But if you can step past that and just go for it, my goodness, like to me, your possibilities can be endless, because I always think, but what if you fly? But what if it's not that you fail, but what if you actually succeed? Yeah. What's that? That's a scary one. Oh yeah. Right. Yeah. Momentous. Oh yeah. I mean, even when I learned how to skydive, right, I was terrified, right? I wanted to, I was at the end of a divorce, right? I'm like, dude, I remember a therapist was like, you need to get out and like, what's something you've always wanted to do and challenge yourself? I said, skydive. And she was like, can you afford it? I'm like, yeah. Okay. She's like, go do it. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah. So I did. And I went and scheduled. I was like, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to go for it. And man, it has brought so many great experiences, and I've met so many amazing people just from skydiving, because people come from all around the world to skydive in California. Yeah. So I've met people from Switzerland and New Zealand, Australia, and they come out here for a few days, and everyone always has this really cool attitude. They're trying to experience life, and have a good time. So you meet so many cool. I've skydived with a doctor before. I skydived with this actor. I think her name's Palm. She was in Mission Impossible, one of the last missions. She's an Asian female. We were jumped out of a helicopter together, which is cool, right? I mean, it's just, you just never know where your life is going to leave you if you just step out and go for it. And is it hard? Yeah. Is it, you can't teach motivation. Yeah. That's one thing I always have try to wrap my head around, because I think my dad, how he raised me was to always work for what I want. Like, he never gave us an allowance. You want something? Go out. I can't tell you how many times I painted my dad's fence. Yeah. There's probably like 18 coats of paint on that thing. Oh, you want some money? Go paint the fence. I just painted it last. Go paint the fence. Okay.
Paint it again.
Yeah, paint it again. It's like you got to earn and get what you want. And that, and to kind of tag on to you with that is like the motivation it takes for you to go from 320 pounds to where you're at now. That is not easy. Like, I want everyone to know that takes hard work, dedication, and mental fortitude, because you don't lose weight overnight.
No.
That is something that takes time. Yep. That takes breaking down your life, from your sleep to your diet to how you're working out. I mean, even dealing with your own self-thoughts of how you look. That's hard, dude. I mean, in 2020, like towards the beginning, I was in a bad accident and I had a brain injury. I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
I lost my speech, dude. I gained weight. I think the most ever weight I was like 215 for myself. And it was hard. And
you're about 215 right now, no?
No, 190.
Okay.
Yeah, 190. But it was so hard after that, like year and a half. I had to get my speech back.
Yeah.
All these different things. And going from someone who was surfing since they're a kid and doing ultra marathons and staying physically fit, and I didn't move much for a year and a half, dude, getting back, it was one of the toughest things I think that it was to go through, was to get that motivation. Because when you start back up and you have that weight, and it's like, and you remember what you used to be, that's a hard thought. Yeah. You have to be very careful with that. You have to really put that aside. Be like, okay, I'm going to start from the ground up.
Yeah.
I'm going to start small. I'm going to work back to where I was.
We need obstacles.
Oh, brother.
if life were just easy and dandy, it would be easy and dandy, and you wouldn't have all these podcasts and these motivational situations where people can ingest good self-growth things.
Yeah.
Because it would, we wouldn't need it, because it would just be easy, and we need these things in order to grow. And yeah, I mean, like I said, I think it goes back to exercise, proper nutrition, getting sun. I could do a little bit better on the hydration. Sleep is, but those little basics, man, and we can make excuses. And what's funny about excuses is that there's a lot of legitimacy to excuses. And we can either allow them to halt us. Well, you don't know my story. And personally, I had cancer about 12 years ago.
Oh, what did you have?
Yeah, it was sacral chordoma.
Wow.
So for me, I didn't really think about it till maybe a year or two ago. Like, I would tell people I had tailbone cancer.
Yeah.
Because it was a malignant tumor growing out of my tailbone. So I was just tailbone cancer.
You're going to tell, dude.
Yeah, it was tailbone cancer. Yeah. I was like, what's tailbone cancer? Yeah, sacral chordoma. And I've been an avid lifter, fitness enthusiast since I was 11. And one day, just my tailbone started hurting. And I was like, what's going on here? So I took some rest, and a couple weeks later, it's better. And that first squat back, I was like, I'm 20 at the time, and it's like, I'm on paper, I'm an adult, but I'm like, Mom, Dad, help me. And, they ushered me to, I was under their insurance, and they helped me, with setting all that up and getting imaging done. And, there's something going on there. I think we know. And biopsy, I got that call. Hey, we got to act on this. Oh, wow. And, 8 weeks of radiation, surgery, 6 more weeks of radiation. And, I remember that moment, man. It was tough because it's like, me? I'm healthy. I'm young.
Right. Right. I would think the same thing. Yeah. I'm young.
Me?
Yeah.
No, not me. And so I go for a walk around my block. My brother Matthew's there. I think it was summertime, just before my 21st birthday. And he's following me, and I'm just like thinking, I'm like a moment where you actually have to like, whoa, like, and so, he's trailing me, and like, I just let it out. I'm like, whoa, I'm just yelling.
Yeah.
And so like a couple days, I'm like, why me? And I go to my first radiation, and I see this, I'm in the back, wearing my gown, getting ready to go to this radiation thing. And this young black lady is just wheeling herself, and she's got this head mask on. And like, as I'm walking by, like, I look over and we catch eyes, and she's smiling at me. And I'm like, what are you smiling about? Like, in my head, it's like,
yeah.
And like, that moment was it. I was like, okay, we're gonna, and it wasn't that, I was like, I better like find the positivity here. Something with that smile, like, I don't have problems. This woman's probably got brain cancer. She's probably gonna die. And, and it's like, I don't have any problems. And it was never, at that point, it was not like, rah, I can beat this. It was death was not applicable at that point.
Right.
And so I just was like, all right, I'm just going to win. And so I followed what the doctor said, and then just got back to it, baby.
Wow, dude. It's, I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. Okay, I'll just do this. See this picture right here, the pale blue dot? I always try to keep images or certain things to help me, remind me, and keep me humble, and realize like, yeah, I'm gonna have my problems, but everyone's going through something.
Yeah,
everyone's dealing with something in their life. That's why I always try to say, treat people with grace. Someone cut you off, just you don't know what they're going through. They're probably having a bad morning, whatever it's going to be. But what I like about this picture is you see that little dot right there. That Voyager took that. I think they sent a message to the Voyager, right? It was about to leave our galaxy. They said, turn around and take one last picture of Earth. So it took that picture, and it took months and months for that picture to come in, right? It's way back in the day. And they got it like, oh, there's nothing there. And then right off of the solar panel, that's a ray from the sun, and that little dot is Earth.
Oh, okay.
And I remember seeing that, and it flooded me with so much emotion. One, for me, just because what I believe and how big the universe is, and how God says He holds it in His hand and He loves us, but to know that on that little speck is an even smaller speck, and it's me. Yeah, it's like,
I love that.
Your problems, you're gonna get through this. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's gonna be okay. But that being said, when we go through stuff, personally, it affects everyone different. Yeah, everyone process is different. So I can't even imagine. Going what you went through, and you have that a moment where it's just like, I remember thinking when I had my brain injury, this is it. I'm done. I'm not going to be able to work anymore. Lost my speech. I'm handicapped. Like all these things just went through my head. Like you're done. It's over. And I remember thinking, no. We're gonna battle through this, even to the point where I had my own speech therapist coming in to get me back faster. Yeah, I was like, forget this. We're going to be doing this all the time. I mean, it's to the point where, they started small, right? It's like they would have these cards out with animals on it. Like, when's a giraffe? What is this? And like, I remember it was like a giraffe, but I would say rhino. I'm like, wait, what? I know I could think it. I know that's a giraffe, but why am I saying rhino? It was the weirdest thing. Or they had like these little puzzles out. It's crazy, dude. They have you play the simplest games. And I could see why now. You're trying to build yourself back up, right? Just like when you're trying to get in shape. It's like put the square in a square peg. Put the circle in the circle. And I'd sit there and I'd be trying to put the square peg in the circle. I'm just like, wait, what? Like, I know what this is, but I'm still messing it up.
Not quite computing.
Yeah, but man, those struggles, kind of like you said, those mountains hit you, those valleys, it really will test you as a person.
We're all on our own journey, which is, I love how you said that.
Yeah.
Because it's not really about what you've gone through. It's hear the meaning and not the words, right? It's like I was sick. I currently deal with nerve issues from the latent radiation issues. But maybe your parents didn't love you. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you lost a brother. Yeah. Maybe your girlfriend broke up with you. The thing that happened to you obviously plays a role, and it's individual, and there's a meaning behind that to that person. But what the problem is that we've had issues, and we have to overcome those issues. Yeah. Right. And just because maybe I don't understand yours, what I do understand is that it sucks.
Yeah. Right.
And how do we overcome that? Rather than say, well, mine, be the victim Olympics. It's like, no, let's find the solutions, man. And, again, I think the solution starts with exercise. Get up and train. And again, everyone's got a different path out of the darkness. But for me, and what I like to preach is exercise. And that's how you're going to get out of whatever hole. Girlfriend broke up, parents didn't love you, you got sick, you're dealing with this or that. I think exercise, because if you're not moving, man, you're dying. And
straight up,
and let's get you moving. So
let's go, dude.
Yeah, and I like this date. I was not a speck on there yet. So, but this, I love this. This is
I just try to keep those. I try to have things around me that just remind me of what I'm going through in life and the things that it's a big deal for me. But remember, everyone's kind of going through something. Even to the point like, dude, your radiation. Is that something that had to be painful? I mean, it changes your body a little bit, right?
Yeah. Well, I'll save you the gory details and all the current stuff that I deal with. But at the time, I don't recollect a whole lot. I mean, I wasn't a 75-year-old female. I was a 20-year-old dude who was in relatively good shape. So, I mean, it was a pretty easy breezy deal for me. pre-surgery. The surgery, I had some bathroom issues for a while, and that wasn't fun. Some numbness, which I still deal with, and but prior was pretty easy. The whole process. Like, listen, I tell people, like, if there was ever a time to land cancer, I nailed it. I nailed it, man. Yeah. And it's not always that lucky for everybody. And,
right.
And so, again, goes back to your own path, your own journey, and doing the best that you can with that and finding solutions. Oh, this happened, that happened. Well, what's the solution?
Right.
Let's find that.
Right. So when did you get into the personal training part of your life? Was that something that's recent, or was it after you lost all the weight?
Certification?
Yeah.
Yeah, so actual certification was early last year. So, but I mean, like I said, I've been physically active and since I was 11, 33 now. So,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, a few down years, but but the actual certification was March of 2020.
Is that a difficult certification to get?
No.
Okay.
No.
It's just something you apply. I mean, apply yourself.
Yeah.
Put in the work, right?
Here's the pre-licensing. Ingest it. Schedule your exam. Do what the thing said,
Right.
If you go seek the information, they're not trying to fool you. And that's the same with the financial license. You just go through the stuff and you put it, you click the buttons at the exam. So,
well, Evan, he does personal training.
Yeah. No,
okay.
I'm aware that actually, now that you mentioned it, I do remember him saying he did some acting. I don't know why that blanked, but yeah, no, I'm aware that he's actually a relatively successful online coach and everything. And I need to get with him and get some coffee with him, catch up.
He's such a good dude, man. I'm so glad he's a friend and a part of the podcast.
How did you guys meet?
He was my trainer at the gym.
Yeah.
I was getting fit for some film thing that I was doing, and you go to the when I was like, I need to get a trainer, and I was like, oh, that guy's jacked, so I'll do it with him, and we ended up just becoming really good friends because when you're training, you're talking.
Yeah.
You get to know each other really, really well, and he was in school. I think his degree is in, I want to say acting, but it's in the arts.
Yeah. He's a few years younger than me. I think he's 30, 31.
Yeah, he's a little bit younger than us. But he's one of those people, at least for me, he's kind of, I know a lot of people, and that sounds very arrogant, right? I like talking. That's, of course, why I have the podcast, right? I just meet a lot of people and I enjoy it. But there's very rare few that I keep close, right? He's one of those kind of like 5 friends that I say where if I'm having a difficult time or struggling, I can call him up and tell him anything. He's not fazed. He'll never judge me. He'll be there for me. He'll help me work through it. We'll figure it out together. And it's so rare to find that in people. Like when you get older, I remember reading a statistic that once you hit your 30s, usually it says like you'll probably keep you'll keep a friend for like 1 to 2 years, and then they move on. Then you keep a friend 1 to 2. To have someone as a friend longer than 5 years starts to become very, very rare.
Yeah.
And so I've always tried to, once I kind of catch on to someone who I can really confide in and be close with, and I can tell they're good people, I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna keep this person really close.
Yeah.
And he's one of those.
Yeah. When we first had coffee, he's very vulnerable and he'll drop my walls, and I'm vulnerable with him, and it's rare to see someone share, and great dude, and like I said, I need to link up with him.
Well, it's hard to find that in guys, right? Guys that, especially in my career, I see it all the time, right? Everyone's put on this male bravado, freaking, I'm A-type, I'm better than you. And then like, I remember when you first see somebody who's really fit, I was a little intimidated, right? Oh, this guy's probably full of himself, all this. And he just was humble. And he's super nice, and I think for males, we need more of that. I think everyone puts on this, thinks we have to put on a face like we're this tough guy and we're good. I want to say you're human.
Yeah.
You have emotions and that are God-given. Yeah. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to struggle and doubt and have, those things that you're doubting and talk to somebody about it. And I think for some reason, it still seems taboo. It's getting better, the mental health thing.
I agree.
It really is. Yeah. It's not as taboo as it used to be, but it's still not, to me, in my opinion, where it needs to be.
Yeah.
But I always want to say like, hey, it's okay to say you need help.
Yeah.
It's okay to say you're struggling. It's okay to say you're happy. It's okay to be like, what the F is going on?
It's definitely becoming more of an open thing to discuss.
Yeah.
So, and I'm delighted to see that because people have problems, man. And like you said, it's just tradition for men to hold that in, and either you suffer forever, or is those moments happen where it's like, hey, what if you took a moment to chat that out, to discuss and just be vulnerable, and like you said, it's rare to find someone that you can trust with that information,
right?
Because you're not telling it to this guy so he can tell it to
Oh, I hate that.
It's just like, this is you and me. I mean,
you tell, you're like, you think you trust this person, right? And you tell them, next thing you know, like a few weeks later, some other friend's like, hey, bro, I heard you did this. You're like, wait, what? Like, hey, fuck, John, like, you're supposed to be telling people this. What's going on?
Yeah, exactly. And, not that it's necessarily malicious or anything, but it's like having someone that understands, like, vulnerable. And it really does release a lot of stuff, just like exercise.
Yeah.
Having those moments.
Dude, you seem like, you seem very grounded. You seem very self-aware. And my biggest question for you is during, you had cancer, you're going through radiation, you were 320 and you lost all this weight. Like, what drives you? What is it for you? Because a lot of people can't find that, and when I see someone that does that, I'm like, okay, so what is that for you? What is that thing inside of you that no one can see that's pushing you to do better, to overcome these obstacles?
Yeah. Man, that's an interesting one because, oftentimes there's something external. And for me, like, I just feel like there's always been something inside of me. It might sound cliche or whatever, but like, it's always been that voice, you're better. Like you're better you're meant for something great.
Got you. And
I just want to fulfill that, and in the last 4 years or so, 2020 on, like, I've really bought into myself, and just, the true idea of belief,
Yeah.
And all the while maintaining, humility and whatnot. But, I want to be the guy that I say I'm going to be. I want to hold myself accountable. And when I'm able to check those things off the list, there's nothing better, obviously I want to prove my parents right. My dad's a military engineer and my brothers are the same.
Oh, is he full-time military?
Yeah, he's retired now. He works for the State Department.
My dad was full military guy. He's Green Beret.
Yeah, Navy, 3 years Army, and then anyways, I don't want to get too much into them, but security, these guys are studs. These are my heroes, my dad and my brothers.
Yeah.
But they're going the security route, 401k, this and that, and I'm an entrepreneur filmmaker. Mm-hmm. And that's just what obviously the cancer medically, I never really experimented with trying to get recruited in, but I can assume that that's probably a medical thing that wouldn't allow disqualifier. But just, fulfilling this thing that's always been there that I suppressed for a long time, having these discussions. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be a billionaire. I'm going to do great things. I'm going to help lots of people. It's like, that's a scary thing to like announce.
Yeah.
Good. Mm-hmm. Good. Announce that, put that into the air, and hold, that gives you an additional thing to hold yourself accountable to. So of course, proving my parents right, proving but really it comes down to what keeps me motivated is like, hey man, are you the man that you say you are? Mm-hmm. Let's find out. Time's ticking.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah. So that's what keeps me motivated.
Yeah. It's again, it's so hard to teach motivation. There's people in my family, others that, they I want to lose weight. I want to do this. I want to do that. But they think there's a magic pill, right? There is no magic pill for staying in shape. There's no secret to success besides hard work and putting yourself out there and going for the things that you want. And I'll tell you right now, there's days where I do not want to go run. I don't want to go run 13 miles in the hills. I don't want to go cycle 60 miles, or I don't want to go surf. And then, I remember those dark times. It was, when I was having such a difficult time, getting out of bed seemed so hard.
Yeah.
That was like the toughest part of the day was just get up.
And you're not going to win every time. You're not. And that's okay, man. That's okay. But it's human nature to miss one day and next month, next week. It's like, okay, you fell off one day, you slept in a little late, you ate the bed. Okay, let's get back on tomorrow. Let's not let that thing slide. And it's just human nature. And I think finding that is huge. But I think back to the obstacles thing, it's like, we have we can give so legitimacy to these excuses. That's evident.
Yeah.
But just because there is legitimacy to the excuses doesn't mean we have to let that prevent us from overcoming them and doing the things that we want to do. Yeah, it's cold outside. I don't want to go run. It's like, do it anyways, dude.
Worse, the winter, dude. I know. Gosh.
And we're slowly getting out of that, which is nice. And we'll be begging for the cold here soon again. But,
right.
But yeah, I mean, just looking in the face of those moments where it's like, I don't want to do that, and just doing it anyways. That's where motivation gets beat every time by discipline.
Yeah. I mean, I say this to people many times, like, how is gold refined? Through the fire. It's purified through fire.
Yeah.
I mean, there's another thing. A skilled sailor doesn't become skilled through easy, calm seas. No. You become a skilled sailor through rough seas. Yeah. You learn through those hard times how to become a solid sailor. So for me, looking back on my life, even the bad decisions, man, there was a time in my life I was making a ton of bad decisions. I didn't care about anybody but myself. Excuse me. But looking back now, seeing how the Lord has just kind of led my life and protected me, but looking back and seeing those difficult times, I'm actually thankful for them.
Yeah.
Because it's made me into the person I am now. Yeah. It's helped me learn some very hard lessons as well, where you're like, I'll never do that again. Like through the consequences, that was terrible, because our life is based off choices every day. Right? You choose what time to wake up. You choose what to eat for breakfast. You choose to go in your car and start it up. You choose when you're going to fill it up with fuel. You know what I'm saying? Choices. Yeah. You make good choices, you're going to reap the benefit.
Yeah.
You make bad choices, you're going to reap the consequences.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of like, gosh, how that fine balance of always trying to keep your life on track and doing well,
Chasing your dreams, man. It's like, people are scared because, like, what if it doesn't work out? What if it doesn't work out? Well, if you don't try, you'll never know.
Yeah.
But then, that's kind of the spice of life. It's like, hey, if I don't try, I won't know. But I like to say, if you do what happens if you do push-ups, right? If you do push-ups consistently over time, your chest is going to get stronger. It's not like you can do push-ups and wish the push-up growth away, right?
Right.
You do the push-ups, it happens. Yeah. Period. Physiologically.
Yeah.
And if you put the work in, you make the cold calls, you interact with people, you let people know what you're doing, that's going to build, whatever it is that you're trying to do. You get to the gym, like, if you put the work in, it pays off. And sometimes it's slower for others, but if you just keep chipping away, you let that seed, sprout. Once that thing sprouts, it's off to the moon. But a lot of people they stop watering the seed before, it's almost there.
Yeah.
Right. It's about to sprout, but they give up.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't necessarily need to be 100% the whole way, but, 10%, maybe it's on the back burner for a little while, but you're still doing little things. And a lot of people miss that notion because it's discouraging, and maybe it doesn't work out. It's like, well, at the end of the day, if you put the work in for a long enough period of time, it'll pay off. Yeah. And you just got to trust that process.
Yeah. What I see too, with, God, this will make me sound like an old guy, but you kind of see it in the current generation.
Yes.
They want instant success. Well, yes. I went to college. I have a degree. I should be the CEO. Like, dog, look, it's not how it works. And let's be real. Around. Yeah, when I first started in the fire service, I get hired day one, and they make me the fire chief, I would completely ruin that fire department.
Destroy it. Yeah.
It'd be done. When we started this podcast, the first few, I would say the first year shows were ridiculous, right? It was a mess. It was fun, but we learned as we went. Now, if I would have started the podcast and I was instantly having 20 million downloads and I have success like the best podcast, I don't know, Joe Rogan or whatever you listen to, I'd ruin it.
Yeah.
I would fail.
Yeah.
There's no way, because I haven't learned the process of doing these things.
Yeah.
How to talk to people, how to have an interview with people, having the right equipment. I mean, even to being in my career as a firefighter.
Yeah.
How to fight fire. The reason why, the discipline it takes to understand putting on your protective gear the correct way every single time, because your life matters. The rescuer can't become the rescuee. There's no way. You're going to screw it up. So the process, I got 17 years on now. I wouldn't know what I know now if, I didn't start from the freaking beginning.
Yeah.
You have to. You got to start at the bottom. And I say to people all the time, you're going to eat a crap sandwich. Wherever you begin, you are going to eat a crab sandwich.
Learn to enjoy the crab sandwiches, man. It never ends.
Yeah, but there's so much there's so many good things in those rough times of learning that's going to get you to where you want to go and give you so much experience to become, hopefully, that great leader.
Yeah.
Or be good at whatever you're doing.
You really only look back at the crab sandwiches and go, thank you, you know, because if the current crab sandwiches, and I think I'm just starting to get into that mode. You know, I've overcome a lot, and, you know, there's always going to be more to overcome. But, you know, I look at those moments now in the face of them like, good. I'm thankful for these moments. You know, I'm grateful for this opportunity to learn and get better, you know, rather than say, oh, man, this sucks. Well, let me wait 3 years before I understand why it's awesome. You know, I'm starting to understand, like, in those moments, like, what am I learning from this?
Yeah.
And I think that comes with growth. And listen, I got a long way to grow, but, you know, it's kind of nice to really start embracing the failures and embracing those hard times and understanding that there's something that's going to be gained from this.
100%.
You know?
Dude, 100%. You know, for me, you know, I don't know the best way to put this, but I used to be kind of a stress case about my life and future, and I always felt like I was never good enough. And I know what that is now just from going through therapy and, you know, how I grew up, and I was always chubby. You know, me and my brothers were picked on. Same. And during those times, it's always like, you're not good enough. I wasn't the cool guy in sports until like finally senior year when I got sprouted into my own, you know. But man, that stuck with me for so long. Now you're never good enough. You got to work hard. And I remember one day, it was a family member, I think it was my sister. She's like, Tim, like, why are you, like, you need to take a second and look at your life. You've done really well. Like, it's okay. It's good to take a second and look back and be like, oh, geez, good job.
Yeah.
You know, and now after coming back to my own faith in you know, in Jesus and what he's done for me, it's actually taken so much more of that pressure off. And that's only because, you know, I've learned that if I go to him, I talk to him and I tell him my problems and things that I'm going through, you know, I need direction. I've always learned, like, yo, it works out. Even when it fails, you don't really, like, I realize there's certain things that happened in my life. He was protecting me.
Yes.
I look at it now and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that job didn't work out.
Yep.
I'm so glad I didn't get on that film. I'm so glad I didn't end up with this person, because now where I'm at, I wouldn't trade it for anything. Like, my goodness, like, everything they told me and everything I've learned and read, trust in the Lord. He's got you. He's got a plan for your life. He literally has a plan for you. He has a plan for me. I mean, he knew us both before we were made.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you were fearfully, wonderfully made. There's no one like you. He knew you're going to go through what you're going through, but he also knew you would overcome it and what that's going to do and how that's going to speak to other people. You know what I'm saying?
Life happens for you, not to you.
Yeah, man.
And it's like, oh, you know, and it's a mindset, and you can make that decision. It's like, oh, this happened to me. This happened,
right?
Or it happened for me.
Yeah, it's not
and
like
I use it.
It's not like to be churchy, but it's taught me that even in my pain, in the good, in my pain, in my failures, I'm still going to praise him.
Yeah.
Because he's worthy and because he has a plan, and he can change what was once bad into something good. He trades beauty for ashes. I 100% believe that now. Like, I'm not afraid to say that. I look at my life and where I was, and like, I'll just say a shitbox it was for a while, and then where I'm at now and how far he's brought me. And I can't help but say thank you.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Like, thank you for protecting me, for guiding me, even when I denied you, even when I put you to the side, because where I'm at now, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah.
The hope that you've given me, the drive, the courage to overcome.
Yeah.
You know, the courage that even when I fail, I'm going to keep moving and I'm going to fail forward.
Yeah.
I'm going to try it again. I'm going to regroup. Yeah. You know, it's just changed a lot for me. I think that's where now a lot of my motivation kind of comes from, where it's like, dude, there's something better coming. I know it. You know, he's either going to use my life and things I've been through to help other people and be a testament to what he's done, and he's going to make it okay. Yeah. You know, even when it hurts. And that's brother, that I'll tell you right now, that has been the toughest part of my walk.
I can imagine.
You know, when you're like, yo, what the F is going on, dude? You said you loved me. You said you were going to help me. You said you're going to protect me. And that's one thing that, you know, I don't know if you know about the book of Job, but, you know, Job went through some hard times. Yeah. You know, the Lord said, test him. That is my good and faithful servant. Lost his family. Kids died, lost all his, you know, wealth, everything. Yeah. And the one thing I learned from that when I read that is his prayers were tough. He wasn't afraid to tell God exactly how he feels. And I tell people that all the time, fellow firefighters who are struggling that confide in me. It's like, look, dude, there's only so much I can do, but I can tell you right now, if you just pour your heart out to the Lord and tell him what you're going through, I guarantee you're going to feel a lot better
Put it all
because
on him.
put it out. It's not this whole thing where it's like, I'm going to put my hands together and I'm going to bow down. It's like, dude, he knows you and he loves you. Tell him how you feel.
Yeah.
It's a relationship. A relationship is tell me, if you're pissed, tell him you're pissed. Job was upset. Why would you do this to me? Kill me. I don't want to be here anymore. But at the end of his prayers, he always said, I trust you.
Yeah.
Bro, that spoke to me so much.
Yeah.
And that's like, that has changed the way that I kind of like talk to the Lord, even on my runs and hikes and stuff, where it's like, I'll be like, yo, bro, I'm effing pissed.
Yeah.
Why would you let this happen?
Yeah.
You know, but once I get it out, I'm like, okay, I'm good. But hey, dude, I trust you, but this sucks.
Yeah. They say fear of God is healthy. And, you know, a lot of times people, you know, use fear as the reason why they follow God.
Yeah.
And good.
Oh, yeah. That was one of the camera batteries, but we're good.
Copy that. And for me, I don't want to use God as an insurance plan myself personally. So, you know, becoming godlier, you know, getting closer to God, you know, is really my goal. And, you know, I think, you know, I am on my walk.
Yeah,
when I
dude,
say,
it's all good, bro.
and,
yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I think, understanding the fear, because, you know, like if we're not right with God and that moment of truth happens, right? Sorry, you know, but you know, I think a lot of people use, you know, oh, if you believe, you know, and you know, you're going to heaven, right? It's like,
Yeah.
Is that really what you want this to be?
Yes,
don't you want to
thank you.
become
Oh my gosh,
closer to God? Like, don't you want to follow His rules? And isn't that what you want?
Right.
You don't want to just be scared. Let me, you know, why don't we use His word to make other people better?
Let's go, Kyle.
Not just fear. And that's, you know, again, I think it sounds like from what I hear from brothers and stuff, it's like, hey, it's healthy to have a little fear.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, from my thinking at the point that I am in my walk, it's like, you know, how do I get godlier? How do I become closer?
Yeah.
Like more like Him?
Gosh, you had such a good point because I heard someone say this the other day. It was kind of along the lines of, well, I want to make sure I'm right with God so I get to heaven. I'm like, it's not about getting to heaven, dude. If it was about, you know, becoming a believer and accepting what Christ did for you, it's about getting to heaven, that as soon as you accept Him, you should just be gone.
Yeah.
That's not what it's about. It's about relationship with Him, dude.
Yeah.
He just wants, like it, I always say it's so simple, but people make it hard, right? I feel like Western church has really made it like interesting, right?
Yeah.
When really it's like, it's a free gift and all He wants is your heart. He knows you're not going to be perfect. He knows you're going to mess up.
Yeah.
He just wants to be there for you and He wants to know that you're going to accept Him as He is.
Yeah.
That's it. It's a free gift, dude.
God knows your heart.
That's it, dude.
You know?
I mean, if going to church makes you a Christian, it's just as much as being in a garage makes you a car. It's not about the four walls. Church is about the people, dude.
Yeah.
It's not about getting to heaven. It's about love.
Yeah.
Love, grace, and forgiveness. And for me, that's what changed me.
Yeah.
Am I a perfect dude? By no means, brother. I'll even say hell no, okay? I am not a perfect person. No. I have my struggles. I have my doubts. I still have things that, you know, that I struggle with. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, I'll always say I believe Him. I believe in what Jesus has done for me because, dude, it's changed me 100%. It's become such a motivation and so much hope that it's just like, oh my, I get so excited sometimes. I'm like, yeah, this sucks right now, but I'm going to be good.
Yeah.
You know?
Trusting in Him. And that's something that I need to be more accepting of. And I've gotten closer to that.
Yeah, dude.
Just let Him handle it.
Yeah.
You know, if something bad happens, it's meant for a purpose. You know, it's guiding you in the direction that He wants you to go. I know you want to go a different route, but you know, hey, why don't you relax?
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't mean give up on your dreams or something because something bad happened, right?
100%.
You know, but it also means looking up and asking Him and saying, hey, help me understand, dude. Help me understand. And maybe He won't teach you at the moment. I'm still questioning, you know, some of the things that I'm like, well, it'd be nice to know why. You know, you don't necessarily need to heal me,
right?
But maybe understanding why you're doing this would be nice. And I'm sure He'll reveal that in time. But, you know. You're
a good dude, Carl. I'm telling you right now, like, I'm so glad you're on this podcast. And I can say this, man, I you know, I think He's got great plans for you, man. And there's nothing wrong with being on the journey you're on, dude. It's okay to be questioning. It's okay. All of it, dude.
Yeah.
He loves it. He knows where you're at. You know what I'm saying? Now, the last thing I do want to talk to you about, because you're a financial planner, right?
Yes.
So, dude, the state that we're in right now, as far as inflation, people are losing things, right? People starting to lose jobs. You're seeing it with jobs, right? These big companies are laying people off.
Yep.
I'm seeing it online. You've seen people start to sell their boats, their toys, right? Starting to get rid of stuff for a lot cheaper than what they're worth.
Yep.
RVs and everything. What do you think is the best way for people to survive and get through a time like this with inflation? Because it's a difficult time, right?
Yeah.
When I go fill up my vehicle is a lot bigger. Okay, it's an Expedition. Bro, that's a 30-gallon tank.
Yeah.
Now, I've done well for myself, but that still hurts.
Yeah.
Right? That's like, it's $205 to fill that bad boy up sometimes. Now, I think about people who, a 2-household income, and they don't have the opportunities maybe that I've had, and they're paycheck to paycheck. And maybe they have to decide, okay, are we going to buy groceries or only fill the gas tank up halfway? They're starting to have to make very crucial decisions, or, hey, we can't live in California anymore. It's too expensive. We can move out.
That's one option. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Someplace a little cheaper.
Yeah. So it's like, and this is not to like catch you way off guard, but finances are a big deal right now. It's tough for people, and I see it. I see it in my job. How do people prep for these times or cut back? It's a real hard time for people.
Financial planner, we call ourselves licensed independent educators. We teach people financial literacy and business ownership. And one of the first things that we teach is to know their options and, finding things that, beat what the banks offer and outpace inflation is our very first thing that we teach folks. And we help them understand what the options are and what it means to find a strategy or a solution that does just that gets you 8, 10, 12 or north of that % of return.
Yeah.
Finding things that offer market protection, but also upside growth. And then the business ownership side is like, hey, 50 years ago, you could be a bus driver and, be able to save and whatever.
Buy a house.
And nowadays it's no longer a luxury to have a second stream, a third stream of income. It's a necessity. Yeah. And so, just keeping your eyes up for opportunity, and it's tough, because we have shiny object syndrome. Grass is greener on the other side. Not naturally, it's important to focus on one thing. But having your side things that are growing on the back burner so finding things that offer higher rates of return is number one, putting your money to work for you, and then opening up opportunities for additional streams of income, passive income, etc. So eyes up, guys.
Yeah. Gosh, it's I hope we get through these times, man, because it's a bummer to see people struggling. That's one thing. It's just tough. It's, I've had friends that they're like, dude, we can't afford to live in California. We got to bounce. It's a bummer. You're just like, dang, dude, like it got that bad. I'm not in that position. Thank God. I've done okay, but it's tough when you see your friends and family struggling. Yeah. They're on fixed incomes and it's getting tough and things are getting tight.
Well, when, someone reached out to you at some point, not you, but in general, and you're like, I'm 30. I don't really need to worry about, the future, or, it's like, well, maybe listen, guys, listen to that person, because, maybe it's not for you. Maybe it's not the right time, but at least give yourself the shot. Yeah. Let's go through the options. Let's talk about how money works, compound interest, how money's taxed, how to mitigate those things. And maybe there's a gem there. Maybe you find some value. Maybe you know someone that does. But I think what it comes down to is just opening your ears, getting educated on how money works and how you can make it work for you and not let it get beaten up by inflation. And then, if you don't act on it, that's fine. At least you knew. Yeah. At least you understood. So,
at least you got educated.
Yeah, just open up your ears.
Yeah, I got you, dude. Yeah. So if somebody wants to get a hold of you for either financial planning or your personal training, is that two separate things, or can they come to you directly at your Instagram or your TikTok?
Yeah, reach out directly. Kyle Hardy 43 is my Instagram. My TikTok is Kyle Hardy 127. I do have individual websites. That's www.hardyfinancial.org for the financial side, and then www.airllc.org for the financial side, or for the personal training side. And like I said, direct message through the TikTok and IG platforms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, very good, man. I can't thank you enough, dude, for spending time to be on this podcast. I want you to come back, dude. I wish we had more time.
Yeah, me too. I'd love to maybe doing with Evan, dude, Mr. Nelson.
That would be amazing.
I think that would be fire.
Yeah, I think it'd be great to have both of you on. But dude, all I could say is you're an awesome individual, man. You've been through a lot, and I think, the things you've talked about here with your cancer and losing weight and where you've been, how far you've come is a testament to who you are as a person, dude. You have a lot to give to this world. You know what I'm saying? I know you're not a person to give up. Keep going, dog.
Yeah, well,
if I can, dude, keep going.
That's the plan, and if I can leave the podcast with anything is take the challenges.
Yeah.
Don't shy away from them. Jump over the hurdles, go around them, bust through the walls. Just because there's an excuse that has legitimacy to it doesn't mean you have to submit to it. Yeah. So overcome, and do the things that you say you're going to do and become that person.
Dude, I love it. Man of your word, huh?
Try to be. I'm not perfect.
That's for everybody, man. Be a man of your word. Hey, man, I don't really do this often, but I'm just going to end this right now. I want to pray for you. You cool with that?
I would love to pray now.
Let's do it right now real quick, dude. Heavenly Father, thank you for my friend Kyle and that he just being here on this podcast and talking about his life to people. Lord, he's been through so much, but you've been with him. Father, please continue to guide him, guard his heart, show him who you are, reveal how much you just love him and how much you've protected him and what you're going to do with his life, Lord. I am so thankful that he's here and that he's now one of my friends. Lord, work out his life, bring the success that you want for him, Lord, and just continue to show your love for him. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Dude, you are the man, my friend.
Likewise.
You're welcome on here anytime.
I'll be here.
And we always end this podcast with the let's go on 3. You ready for this?
Yes.
Let's do it. 1, 2, 3.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for listening in. If you liked what you just listened to, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Please follow us on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Facebook. And a big shout out to Stephen Clark, our sound editor. He's a huge part of this team that is unseen. It's 89 Barbers, our first sponsor. Look good, feel good, be great. That's 2 locations, Orange, California, and Long Beach, California. Book your appointment online, 89barbers.com. Bye, everybody.